So Wuben just keeps pumping out these new flashlights, new designs, and recently I was given an opportunity to review a prototype of theirs, and this is the E8. It's a really strange looking flashlight. Looks like some kind of secret military device, some kind of cyberpunk device, and yeah, rather than a flashlight. And by the time I release this video, it's likely that there will be some changes to the final model, but let's see what this pre-production model has to offer. So in short, you've got these kind of colored panels here on the side, and these are just kind of aesthetically placed there. You know, there's no light or anything underneath it, but it's kind of this triangular-like shape, which is quite unique for a flashlight. Almost feels like you're holding a pencil or something like that. You've got a mechanical switch here on the back, and it's pretty simple to operate. It's just 3 modes, so low, medium, high, and you've also got a 365 nanometer UV mode there as well. It's got memory, so you just got to leave it on for about a second, off for about a second, and it remembers that mode. You can see it's using these triple LEDs. Got a clip here along the side, some areas to install some tritium vials. So because this is a pre-production model, didn't really get much in the box besides a USB-C charging cable and also this little screwdriver here, which basically you can use to remove and add on different colored little sort of grills here along the side. You can also undo the screws here on the head, on the tail. So here's the Wuben E8 compared to a few other flashlights in my collection. And I've got a couple of AA flashlights. So this is the T3 and the Acelit Pokelit AA. And I didn't mention, but the E8 does take a 14500 cell. Got a couple of larger flashlights as well. I've also got the Wuben X0 next to it, around about half the length, and my Convoy S8, Nightcore EDC23. So here is a little close-up of the Wuben E8. And it's a really unique looking design. It's part cyberpunk, part military, if not for these colored panels here along the side. And this triangular shape design as well is quite unique. And it also has that function of stopping it from rolling around. Overall, it's slightly reminiscent of the Wuben X series with all the kind of angular cutout areas and design there on the head. They're sort of using that same kind of styling, but there's no sharp areas. It's nicely smoothed down. The anodizing is more matte black than shiny, though it is a bit slippery. You know, with these plastic grills here along the side, I wouldn't say that it's slippery, but just offers, you know, just enough grip to hold on to. Got a single mechanical switch here on the back, which I really like. It's made of metal. It will tail stand, but a little precariously, as you can see. And you've got this steel clip here along the side. It's not a deep carry clip. You can remove it though. And the tail cap is a little tricky to unscrew, but basically you kind of got to grip onto this little bit of knurling there and then undo it. And here you got the tail cap, like a spring underneath the tail, underneath the head, and it's just kind of like a normal brass copper nib, and that makes contact here. The Wuben cell does come with a USB-C charging port on it, 920 milliamp hours. Down the head here you can see the 3 LEDs. It's a triple orange pill reflector sitting in there as well. You've got 2 white LEDs here to the left, and they look a little bit like SST20s. The one on the right here as well, 365 nanometer UV LED, glass lens on the front and a recessed bezel to help protect the lens. So in terms of the UI, it is pretty simple. You know, like I said, it's got a memory mode. Can we leave it off for about a second and turn it back on? So that's like on the lowest mode, that's medium, high, and then you've got a UV mode in here. You can also turn it on and then half press to go between those 4 modes. Holding down, pressing and holding doesn't do anything. Same with double pressing. It's a pretty simple kind of UI. ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests here with the Wuben E8, and you can see here on the high mode, the step down occurs pretty much instantaneously, very sort of linear step down. By the 1 minute mark, you're on about a third of the total output. This is a second ceiling bounce test that I ran on the medium mode, and you can see here, didn't really notice much of a change in output. It does slightly drop down right at the end, slowly by the 12-minute mark, but yeah, I would say between 95 and 100% for the duration of this test. I also ran some tests with my Opal Light Master Pro, and you can see here on the high mode with the 2 white LEDs, I've got 121 meters of throw, pretty decent for a little AA flashlight like this. The UV got 7 meters of range. You can see the CRI is on the low end, 65, and CCT was between 4,700 and 4,800. So some considerations if you're thinking of getting the Wuben E8. The first consideration is that the UV mode is not separated out, and this kind of bugs me a little bit. I've sent some feedback to Wuben. Hopefully they can change it so that, you know, if you hold down the tail switch for 3 seconds or whatever, it turns on the UV. Otherwise, yeah, I don't really want to cycle through the UV if I'm using all the other white modes. I also hope that Wuben will make a red version of this, so just removing the UV mode and having a red LED in there. I think that would be really useful for people like myself who just like to use sort of red LEDs at night. The second consideration is the design of the colored panels do look cool, but it would be good if they were more functional, like if there were some side panel LEDs added underneath them, you know, just so that that warm light or whatever colored light could show through if they had different colored panels that you can interchange. And of course, you know, there's a ton of these AA/14500 cell flashlights out there, so there's quite a lot of competition, lots of choice for people. So you basically want to go for this one if you're looking for something really different in terms of appearance. And you know, it's really cool that you've also got that UV LED in there. Like I said, I do hope that they separate out that function so that you don't have to cycle through it with that tail switch. But other than that, I think it's a really cool and functional light. The E8 is Wuben's interesting take on the AA EDC flashlight niche, and I think they've made something that's unique looking and more functional, given that it's sort of separate UV white LEDs in there. Most AA EDCs just have a single LED with 3 modes, low, medium, and high. And with the few tweaks I mentioned above, I think this could be an excellent EDC flashlight. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. And if you have questions, also comment down below and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, click the like button and share it with a friend who might be interested. It just helps me to get my video out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and keep up to date with the latest flashlight news, make sure you subscribe. Okay, Wuben E8, and that's the highest mode. This is the UV, like the UV mode, and it's surprisingly throwy for what it is. Like, it just skips, basically just goes low, medium, high, and then UV. So let's pop back to the low mode, okay, which is pretty okay for, you know, just generally walking around. But the medium mode is much better here. Let's probably recommend that one. Really like floody beam, but a lot of the light is located in the center of the hotspot. That's the high mode. Then you can see someone like walking around right at the distance there. Back to the UV mode again. It's picking up some, like, I don't know, bits of wrappers and things. Usually on the benches, sometimes there, you know, be some glue or who knows what. Okay, not really anything. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it's fluorescing back as well. So back to the low mode, medium, and high. Low, medium, high. Good, like short to medium range flashlights. Like, really got a it's a nice sort of hot spot in the center, but yeah, decent enough spill up into your peripherals. Wuben E8, that is the highest mode. That is definitely bright enough. Goes to UV, now I go to the lowest mode, so low. That's okay for very short range stuff. Medium, show you a better mode for walking. And high. Just managing to tint the trees at the back. I don't know if you can see. I'll go for a little walk. Wuben E8, low mode, the two white LEDs. This is medium, which is doing well to illuminate all the way up to the grass and maybe to those bushes in the midway. And this is high, pretty impressive. It does step down quickly, but you would expect that for a small flashlight. And I'm not actually sure how many lumens this is, but I would assume, well, I don't know, I think this would be over 1,000, if not more. It's pretty bright, but very floody. I'll just reactivate it again. It does tint the trees at the back, but more so goes into the field here. This would be a great little walking light, even just on the medium mode like that. I'll go for a bit of a walk.